And I see we do have a quorum. And Daphne, if you would please read the agenda. I think we have one item to take care of before we hear the zoning request.
Yes, first we have approval of the minutes.
Okay. Well, okay. So anybody, have you reviewed the minutes and do you have any changes or comments?
No changes or comments from me.
Okay. John or Nathaniel?
No comments.
Okay. With that, we don't need to vote, so I can just approve the minutes as submitted. Thank you, Daphne. Let's see, the next item that we have to address is the election of a chair and vice chair. Are there any members on the call that would like to be chair? If not, I'd be willing to continue in the role.
I vote for you to continue.
I'll second it.
That's pretty fast vote. All right, so Daphne, I'll continue as chair, and then we need to vote on a vice chair. And who was our vice chair currently, Daphne?
I believe it was Justin Ballwig.
Okay. I don't know if we can just nominate him and vote without him being present.
You can definitely do that.
I think
Oh, we can?
Yeah. Let's keep
Okay.
that.
Do we have a motion and a second then?
I move that we keep the current chair and vice chair without change.
Okay. And do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Thanks, Ken. Okay, all in favor?
I
All right. Um, are there any other items, Daphne, that you feel that we need to address?
No, that's all we have to take care of before
Okay.
this hearing.
Okay. So then, before we open the public portion, I see there are some other members on the call. And the way that the zoning board works is that we'll call the meeting to order. The applicant or the representative for the applicant will present the zoning variance to us, and we will ask them questions. We will also deliberate as a board, but then there will be an opportunity for you to provide comments on that variance as well. So, Daphne, I guess with that, I'll call the meeting to order, the public portion at 5:03. Daphne, could you please read the agenda for this evening or the variance request?
Sure, yeah. So the variance request, as noticed in the public hearing, is the applicant Jeffrey Brankus, on behalf of Ripple Management, is requesting a variance to place a building 5 feet from the street setback along University Avenue. Section 10.02.247 requires a street side setback for MRH zone lots to be 20 feet, and section 10.02.327 requires the front setback for MUA zone lots to be 15 feet. The portion of the building east of the small parking lot in the site plan sits on an MUA zone lot, while the rest of the project is in an MRH zoned lot. And then finally, the University Avenue corridor plan, which was adopted by the city in 2022, provided setback recommendations for the corridor from Park Street to Allen Boulevard. Redevelopment recommendation number 2 recommends a minimum setback of 25 feet measured from the street curb.
Okay, thank you, Daphne. Are there any other issues or any items that have come up from other committees, Plan Commission, that we need to be aware of?
I did not receive any written statements or anything like that before the meeting. And then otherwise, this project has been conditionally approved by Plan Commission. One of the conditions was that the setback needed to be either receive a variance or they were supposed to get, public right of way back from I believe it's the Wisconsin DOT that owns University Avenue. And so the applicant felt like this was a more reasonable route to go through.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Are there any members, any zoning board members that need to abstain from the variance request?
No.
Okay. With that, if there are representatives on behalf of the applicant, could you please state your name and then you can proceed to present us with your zoning request.
Yeah, Jeff Brinkus with Gary Brink and Associates, the applicant, 2248 Deming Way, Middleton, Wisconsin. Yeah, I think that, you know, the gist of the request is really in keeping with the spirit of the University Avenue corridor plan and what we've kind of planned all along. The sidewalk does kind of jog back in, as Daphne kind of mentioned, as a result of how the DOT had initially had a, you know, nobody knows why it jogged back in. And the DOT, we had tried working with them, you know, a couple of years ago to, you know, to explore what it would take to kind of pull this back, when we were working on what we were calling kind of the building A portion, that we got approval on as a PD process. So we got an SIP that had a portion of this kind of right of way that jogged back to our building, and we maintain that edge along University Avenue again, which is consistent with the University Avenue plan. The only portion that's not consistent with is the setback requirement from the property line, which jogs in approximately 10 or 15 feet. So that's where I think, you know, and Daphne's got it pulled up there of how it kind of jogs back in at our property. So I can elaborate more on it if need be, or if any of the commissioners and members need me to. But you know, I think again we're trying to maintain a building edge, which is consistent with the, you know, University Avenue corridor plan. And this had come up during the kind of final review of the drawings and approval with Plan Commission.
Zoning board members, do you have any questions for John?
I don't think so. There is a site plan in the packet for the proposed development, right?
Correct.
And maybe if we just
There we go.
look at that for a second. So the red is
I believe the red is showing the setback.
Yeah.
yeah,
So the proposed building, you know, where it's kind of on the screen, I guess, northwest, along that whole entire facade, that was in the original SIP approval, as is. So that was all approved under the SIP for that building. When we came in for the second building, the second proposed building, which is, as Daphne mentioned, MUA, that's when it got flagged. So what we maintained was that building facade along that whole entire edge, maintaining the original building approval, which didn't have to go through this zoning variance process because we were a PD when we got the original approval. So, you know, I guess to put a little bit more context into it. So that was all approved originally. What we just did was we extended that facade to the southeast to maintain that corridor plan
Sure.
spirit.
Yeah, I get it.
So to comply, that building B on the eastern portion, if you will, that would need to move back 10 feet, right?
Right, which I think would actually not, in my opinion, again, that's my opinion, but I don't believe that that would be in the spirit of what the University Avenue plan was trying to achieve, which was kind of maintaining that, kind of building edges along there. We already have that in Middleton where, we were trying to alleviate that as a problem, in the University Avenue corridor plans.
And if you were to move that back 10 feet, would that at all impede or hinder your stormwater management?
Yeah, I mean, it would, the building would significantly change.
Well, I guess, more directly, would you not reach your calculations?
Well, we wouldn't be able to move it back. We're already on the back side. We have some step back requirements which kind of precludes us from moving that building facade any more to the northeast towards Mount Drive. So, the only thing we could do would be to lop off 10 more feet of the facade of that building, which would hinder the project significantly.
Right. So that eastern property line is really sort of also restricting you on that side of the project as well.
Correct.
Okay.
And just to be clear, this has already been through Plan Commission and received approval from Plan Commission, and this is a step that's required for final approval before Common Council final approval. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay. So there's strong support, no opposition, and you're dealing with the anomaly of the jog in the actual property line.
Right.
And no issue with DOT, no issue with future planning of public works for Madison.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for DOT, but as for the city, we don't have any, plans for University Avenue to ever expand or, anything like that. In case, that we needed this right of way. I believe even DOT has determined in some other instances that it is excess right of way. Let me pull up so in the Drogs area, there's this tiny sliver down here that they've
Mhm.
actually relinquished, but I think this took like 2 or 3 years to relinquish that tiny sliver. So I can understand why the project team didn't want to go the DOT route of getting, all of
Yeah.
that right of way back, because it does take a really long time for them to go through that process.
Mhm.
And then go back to the plan we were looking at for just
Mhm.
one more second. The lot line is the project limit line, and everything that is out in the public area. It looks like you're redeveloping the sidewalk to straighten it out.
Correct.
And whatever landscaping or features that are in the public right of way is all worked out, and so that's no issues there also.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, and that was all part of the Plan Commission approval.
yeah, I would assume so. It was just double checking.
Right, and there aren't any zoning issues with that parcel A as well. That was just approved.
Yeah, so that
Your
one
site plan.
came in as a planned unit development. And it was kind of during the time when we were updating our zoning code at the same time. So one of the conditions was to turn that into that MRH zoning. But the building configuration was approved under that PUD.
Okay, so then some of those ordinances did change partway through the life of the project, correct?
Right, yeah.
John and Nathaniel, do you have questions?
I don't have any questions, no.
I do not.
Okay. Are there any other folks on the call that would like to speak regarding this variance? If there are, please state your name. I don't believe there's anybody on the call then to speak in favor or against the zoning application. So at this point, then I would close the public portion and open it up for discussion as a board. Does anybody have any comments regarding this variance?
It looks like it's very straightforward to me, and that it's,
I think through the discussion, I heard some of the hardships that were created. One, some of the zoning ordinances did change or become more clarified during the life of the project. That's one. They are bounded by the northeastern parcel property line that precludes them from, shifting that portion, towards the east. Any other discussion?
For those reasons, I move for approval.
Okay. So Daphne, were you able to sort of record some of those comments regarding the hardships?
Yes, so I have for hardships the zoning ordinance changes that clarified requirements, and then the northeast parcel line and the required step backs associated with that. That's the two hardships so far.
Right, and I think, by moving it towards the east would also impact their stormwater management on site, which is quite tight currently.
And I think you can also mention the jog in the property line and the excess DOT right of way is another item for hardship.
I don't know about the because property lines, I deal with irregular property lines consistently. I think the excess DOT is certainly a comment that we could put on
Okay.
on there as well.
I'll accept that in my motion.
Okay. So do you have everything, Daphne?
Yeah, so I have motion by Wagenke to grant the variance as submitted based on the rationale that the zoning ordinances changed partway for further clarification. The northeast parcel line and the required step backs associated with it. Moving the building would impact stormwater management, and then the excess DOT right of way.
I think that sounds good. All right. So we have a motion to approve from John. Do we have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Okay, Bob seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, so the zoning variance request is approved on a 4-0 vote. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so at this point, we will close the public portion of the zoning board meeting at 5:19. Are there any final questions, comments, other unfinished business?
No, I believe you've reached the end of your agenda, so
Okay,
you can adjourn whenever you're ready, Paul.
all right, then do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Bob,
I'll second it.
Oh, John beat me. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
You too.
Good night.